Okay, hello everybody and welcome. We have a Super Mario Kart matchup between Neetsel and CaptainHum. This is a Division 2 matchup, so despite what the banner at the top says, they're actually going to be playing on 100cc. It was a decision which was made for the new players who entered into the Division 2 tournament. So it's going to be a best of 5 cups. So first to 3 cups wins. So both players will race GP in 100cc mode. They'll be playing the same cup as each other, and it's single cup speed run. Whoever gets the fastest time to complete that cup gets the point. And first to 3 cup wins the match. There's a little bit of a kind of a pushback veto thing going on. So one of the players will push back a cup, and then the other player will pick from the remaining 3 cups. Then the loser of each cup picks the next cup, and each cup should take about 10 minutes or so. So anywhere really between 30 minutes and an hour for this match. So it looks like we've started off on Special Cup. Special Cup is probably the hardest cup in the game. Some people I know think Start is harder. For me, certainly it's special. There's a reason why you have to unlock it. So unlike the Division 1 players, you see these newer players here have opted to use lighter weight characters. So in Division 1, you normally see players pick either Donkey Kong Jr. or Bowser. Those are the players with the highest top speed but worst acceleration. On the left-hand side, Neetsel's gone for the Bro, Mario. Mario and Luigi are the second tier characters in terms of top speed. They're a little bit slower than DK Bowser, but have slightly better acceleration. With Mario and Luigi, you can get pretty much almost as good times as you can with Donkey Kong and Mario. The difference is very small. On the right hand side, Cap has gone for Toad. Toad is the lowest speed character class, Toad and Koopa Trooper. So slightly worse acceleration than Peach. Slightly worse top speed than Peach and Yoshi. Also slightly worse acceleration than Peach and Yoshi, but very tight turning. So Toad and Koopa are usually where the beginners, where people who either play the game casually or just starting to learn to play the game go. They offer by far the best traction, so the best turning ability. Oh, but Cap's having a lot of problem with the deep water here. You need to finish in the top 4 of a race to qualify for the next one. Otherwise, you'll be doing it all over again. So let's see if you can just get past. No. So Neetsel came in 4th with a 153. CaptainHum also got a 153, but unfortunately for him, that 153 wasn't enough for a 4th place. So gonna have to be doing Donut Plains 3 again. So again, this is a Division 2 match for new players, so you're not going to see the kind of driving that you would in Division 1 from players like KVD in chat there, and Neo and Jamu. These players are very new to the game. Basically, we had no entry requirements for Division 2. It's basically if you want to play. And so hopefully they'll get through. Special Cup is the hardest cup. It's a bit of a nasty one to start off on, to be honest. Especially if you're trying to settle in and get going. But like we say, it is a best of 5 cup speed run. We're not doing an all cups, so one bad track is not the end of the match for you. It might spell the end of a single cup, but there's still more cups to play for. Neetsel's going around Cooper Beach 2, just following behind DK here on the last lap. So given he's so close to DK, he'll probably want to finish in second place rather than first. That cuts a couple of seconds of menu transition time. Whenever you get first place in a race, you get a much longer kind of victory celebration before the time splits come up. Whereas if you finish second, third or fourth, you'll get a quicker transition through to the point screen. So if you are very close in first but very close to second, it's always worthwhile just dropping back if it's only going to lose you like half a second or so. So you see on Cap's side, the camera didn't spin around the character and show him celebrating. It went almost straight away to the times there. So Cap's through DP3. We've got Neetsel on Ghost Valley 3. It's a track with a lot of holes in it. It's probably the easiest of the tracks in Special Cup. The computers don't try too hard, so even if you do fall off, it's not too difficult to catch back up through them. As long as you can just avoid the holes in the track and don't fall off the edges, you should be fine. See Neetsel making his way back up through the pack nicely here. There is a platform jump you can do. Saves about a second per lap, maybe second and a half. But probably not worth risking it for these players. So we've got Cap on Cooper Beach 2 having a bit of a nervy battle with the CPUs. It's always nasty being in and around a CPU Mario. Can turn invincible at any time he wants. And if he does hit you, you'll be dead stopped. So just wants to keep it safe and get through. Oh, one more lap to go. Same for Neetsel. He's just ahead of the CPUs on Ghost Valley 3. Coming towards the end of the race. Just don't fall off and he'll be fine. So both through their races. Okay. Neetsel's going to go on to Vanilla Lake 2, which it's either really easy or really hard, depending on how you look at it. It's a very simple track. It's just a bunch of left turns. If you can avoid the ice blocks and avoid falling in the water, you're just going to be basically driving around in 5 circles. The game never seems to make it be so simple for you though. So Neetsel will be coming to a load of ice blocks here. Thankfully the CPUs bang through a lot of them and clear a nice path for the remaining laps. A lot of nasty ice blocks on that last turn, but looks like Neetsel's also cleared a bunch of them, so he should be fairly clear for the rest of the laps. So main goal now, just get ahead of the CPUs and then don't drown. So Neetsel's clear. Just don't fall in the water. Most of the ice blocks are gone now for him, so oh, he's going for a bit of a more risky strat. I think I'd probably err on keeping it simple here. As long as he doesn't rank out, he'll win this cup. So this is the second meeting between these two players. In the first meeting, Cap won 3 cups to 1. So if Neetsel wins this match, he'll be tied with Cap. Cap using the feather to do the platform jump. Neetsel's successfully through the VL2. Cap's having some problems here on GV3. Needs to get into the top 4. Should be one more lap to go after this. Get past Yoshi. Takes out Yoshi with a red shell. That's going to give him a little bit of breathing room. Just don't. Ooh, falling off there, it's not too bad. You've got that zipper to get you back up to full speed. So he should make it through in the top 4. Nice. Neetsel's on to Rainbow Road. This for me, was always the hardest track when I was a beginner. I was never really a fan of pressing brake or letting go over the gas, so I'd always just try and drive it at full speed and just fall off 10 times. Having played this game quite a bit for the last decade now, I've gotten a lot better, and I only tend to fall off 7 times per race now. Oh, that mini shroom Neetsel. At least it's happening not too far into the race. If you had something like that happen to you on the last lap, it can be disastrous, but he's got time to get back up through the field. And oh, that star is a trap. So the star, it makes you invincible. It increases your speed a bit, but it does more than that. It completely changes how your kart handles. You turn and accelerate incredibly differently to normal, and it makes driving really difficult. Neetsel handled it really well and has now got back up into the lead of the race. Just needs to stay out ahead of the CPUs and he'll be fine. Doing a bit of what looks like gas release and just steering rather than any hopping and drifting. It's a tactic you often see when you see people playing this game for the first few times. They soon learn that trying to hop around these corners can be really difficult to do, and you're better just slowing down a little bit, steering through them, and you'll make your way around okay. So Neetsel takes the first cup, moves to a 1-0 lead. Cap had a disastrous start to the cup with a loss, a rank out on the first track, but since then he's been getting through each of the tracks. So hopefully now the nerves are settled down, we'll have a closer matchup for the rest of the cups. Do you need to win the cup to win the game? You need to finish in the top 4 of every track to progress. So Neetsel's done enough to progress through all the transitions, so he also won the cup. But no, you don't need to win the cup. If you get 5 4th place finishes, that is good enough. So again, with this being a Division 2 match, you will likely see a few people not finishing in first place every race. Division 2 is open to any players. You didn't have to be experienced runners of the game. So Division 1, you'll almost always see people winning every single race. Division 2, sometimes, especially in things like Special Cup, it is a bit about surviving. You could finish 5th overall. So it is possible to finish 4th in every race and finish 5th overall, but you also have to start messing around with the CPUs, because the CPUs will, in general, finish in the same order every race, unless you start messing with them seriously on the last lap. So usually you need to finish. It's quite difficult to finish in 4th in every race and finish lower than 4th in the rankings. So we've got Cap coming around Rainbow Road. Mario, do not turn invincible on him. Oh, he's slowing down a lot there. Always a risk of Mario ploughing invincible through the back, but no. Cap makes it through. So this is a best of 5 cups, so it's first to win 3 cups wins. So Cap, as the loser of that cup, gets the pick of the next cup. So it won't be Special Cup. It'll be one of the other 3 cups. I'm not sure what the veto was. But we'll see. To be honest, I'm surprised that Special Cup wasn't the pushed back cup. Oh, Vito was mushroom. Okay. So it'll either be Star or Flower Cup next. So, match referee SMK_machine, aka KVD, has informed us it's going to be Star Cup next. So, before they get off to race, what they'll do is they'll likely set their menus for Star Cup. So, what they'll do is they'll go through, they'll choose their options, choose the player, choose Star Cup, and then quit out of it. And then the game remembers all their menu options, so that when they do go, they can just hit the timer, mush the B button as fast as they can until they get to the race start. Some players don't bother setting the menu. You lose a half a second or so having to choose the cup, and you also risk choosing the wrong cup, which did happen in the previous tournament. It's an automatic, quite a large time loss because you have to reset out of it and then go and choose. So Cap didn't set any of his menu, so he's probably losing 3 or 4 seconds in total. So he's already a little bit behind Neetsel just by having to choose his options. So Cooper Beach 1. CPUs cheat on this track. The water has no effect on them. The shallow water, that is. They will not be slowed down by the shallow water, whereas the human control players will get slowed down by the shallow water. Oh, mini shroom for Cap. On the bright side, it happened early into the race. The general rule of thumb in this game, if something goes really badly wrong, you want it to go wrong early on. That way it gives you time to catch up. Now, what Cap could do is run into a second mini shroom, which are being tossed at him like a machine gun by Peach. And if you hit a mini shroom when you're small, you'll actually grow and be big again quicker. So he was given a couple of opportunities there to grow, become a big toad again, a bit earlier than just waiting it out. And the mini shroom is probably the biggest time loss in the game. It lasts forever. You'll generally lose about 8 to 10 seconds from it. Maybe a bit of a smaller time loss for players who aren't driving around at the maximum speed the game allows. Because obviously, if you're used to being able to play at a level where you can drive all the tracks at full speed all the time, getting slowed down a lot has a much bigger effect on you than if you're maybe driving at 70% of max speed most of the time. So, despite our mini shroom, it wasn't a huge time loss for Cap that it could have been. So, Choco 1-2, undoubtedly the best track in the game. I personally love this track, although it's been ruined for me a bit in time trials now with a new right side lake strat, which I don't know how to do. Back when everyone was going left side lake, yeah, I absolutely love this track. In GP, I like this track too. It's fun. It offers a lot of opportunity to do some crazy things. You can use a feather on this track. I saw a fantastic feather usage in a match earlier between Lenane and Cap. Lenane, that feather was fantastic. I don't know what you were trying to do, but oh my. So yeah, the main thing with this track is the chocolate on the outside of the track slows you down incredibly hard. Then you've got the lake in the middle, which slows you down slightly less. It is possible to drive this track at full speed the entire time, though, using a variety of boosting techniques. But we're not going to see this in a Division 2 matchup. So Neetsel just extending his lead ever so slightly there. Moving on to Vanilla Lake 1. So we've gone from the best track in the game to arguably the worst track in the game. I mean, Vanilla Lake 1 wouldn't be so bad if they learned, if the people who were designing it just learned when enough was enough. Like, you've got ice physics, you've got snow which slows you down, you've got loads of ice blocks to get in your way, and that should be enough. It's a snow and ice track, yeah, I can understand having that. But then for whatever reason, they felt the need to plonk a load of pipes in the worst possible places. Like, they are just, especially that first set of pipes. So Neetsel coming around this corner here, all these pipes, they're just in the worst place, especially if you're driving at full speed. You're basically pointed at one of those pipes and you just hit it all the time. Oh, Cap finding a Yoshi egg. Yoshi not going to win any good parenting of the year awards, just randomly throwing around his eggs at everybody. Fortunately for him, he seems to have an unending supply. Let's see. That star is the best item you can get on this track. As you see, it pulls Cap from right at the back all the way up to second. A star on this track, especially for newer players, is an absolute godsend. You can just ignore all the BS on the track and just plow through it. So from arguably the worst track in the game to arguably the hardest track in the game, especially in one player. Lap 1, not too bad. You can get around, all the swamps are in the air. It's like a pretty decent track to drive. Laps 2 to 5, when all the swamps are randomly dropping down, it becomes infinitely harder. Especially if you're trying to hop the lava as you get better rather than use these bumpers. So, swamp wall. Oh, Neetsel had a lovely gap, decided to drive through it, and the game said no. Threw a thwomp down on his head. And he was very lucky not to pancake into the lava afterwards as well. So that's giving Cap a bit of a chance to catch up. He's about a lap behind. Things can go badly wrong on this track, so I'm just hoping both players get through it okay. Got a feather for Neetsel, uses it to go over the thwomps this time. So in Division 1, you'd have players using feathers to do crazy shortcuts on the track. For these newer players in Division 2, a feather is basically a I can get past the thwomps mechanism. I maybe would have saved it for later on in the race. This Cap gets greeted by a wall of thwomps. Neetsel gonna red shell. Who does he want? Yoshi or Peach? Goes for Peach. So Cap's winning his race. Neetsel's in amongst the CPUs, but he's got a feather. Oh! Not a nice feather usage. In fourth. Fourth is good enough. Fourth is good enough. Fourth is good enough. Third's even better. That could have been a lot worse if he hadn't got the shunt. So after he feathered into the lava, he got put down. He got a nice shunt from a CPU. Get him straight back up to full speed. Whereas Cap's in first place. Just needs to navigate this last swamp. Gonna take a win on BC3. Move over to Mario Circuit 4. Quite often you'll hear this referred to as Mario Circuit 4, a track where very little can happen. But there are a few tricky turns and a hairpin on here, so don't be surprised if you see somebody facing the wrong way. Missing the zoom start. Haven't really spoke much about the zoom start. it's not really going to be a defining thing in this match. Both players have got lighter characters, so you lose less time from missing the zoom start than you would with the DK Bowser class that you often see in Division 1 matches. And there's going to be a lot more errors and time losses throughout the race in general. That a zoom start is not the biggest thing here. But we've seen, I think, about one lap between the two of them. Neetsel taking it very carefully on some of these turns. Approaching lap 4, while Cap's going into lap 3. Yeah, Division 2, next time you run a tournament, if you want to enter, Division 2 is open to absolutely anybody. I say that, it's open to absolutely anybody who's new to the game. We wouldn't let KVD play in Division 2. So we did like some seeding race, some seeding All Cups run before the tournament. So most of the top players were getting like 33 minutes, 34 minutes kind of time. Basically, if you can get under 40 minutes in an All Cups run, you'll probably be put into Division 1. And you don't have to use heavyweight characters. You got Mario and Luigi. KVD did some speedrunning with Mario and Luigi last year, and I think he ended up getting an All Cups run which was only 30 seconds slower than his PR. So that's an average cup time loss of about 7 or 8 seconds. So Mario and Luigi are very, very competitive. I dare say KVD would probably be able to beat most of the people in Division 1 by using Mario or Luigi. Even Koopa Toad, if you don't make mistakes, you stay at full speed, you'll be ultra competitive. So Neetsel taking the second cup. Must remember to give him a point. So we're up to Neetsel 2, Cap 0. It's a best of 5, so if Neetsel wins the next cup, which is going to be Flower Cup, then Neetsel will win the match. Cap needs to win Flower Cup to stay in it. So I don't think we'll see. We've seen Neetsel already set his menu. Cap, I don't think we'll be setting his. Last time that cost him about 3 seconds by having to manually choose everything. Yeah, All Cups runs are fun. I like doing them with other people. Like, have a few other people doing it at the same time. Jump on a Discord call, just chat while you do it. Because everybody makes mistakes in All Cups runs. It's just part of the game. This game is incredibly difficult. It's one of the main reasons we switched Division 2 to be from 150cc to being 100cc. Because newer players were just finding 150cc, especially Star and Special Cup, is just too annoying and not fun. So, although it says 150cc in the top of the screen, they're actually playing 100cc. They're just using the same overlay as is used in Division 1. So the Division 1's all done on 150cc, but Division 2 for newer players are playing at 100cc. Makes the game a lot more forgiving, a lot more fun. It's just makes it easier for people to get in. But this was a choice we left up to the players. It might be that next SpeedGaming tournament that Division 2 runs on 150cc, depending on who enters and how well people progress. So Choco Island 1, another chocolate track. Stay out of the dark stuff, that slows you down horrendously. If you can stay on track, just turn left a bunch of times. Maybe get a mushroom, that would be nice. Maybe get a feather. I'm not sure either of these players know the feather shortcuts here. And there's about a second between them. The next track's going to be Ghost Valley 2, a track which I've historically always had issues with. I've never liked it, and for some reason I miss more zoom starts on this track than any other track in the game. As both players demonstrated there, Neetsel stalling out on his zoom, and Cap just missing the zoom but not stalling it. So if you try and accelerate too early, you end up getting the stall out start, which is the slowest possible start. If you start accelerating too late, you just kind of accelerate away but not at zoom start speed. So ideally you want to hit that 4-frame window to get the zoom start, but if you're going to miss it, you're better off missing it by being late than being early. So it looks like Cap's having a less eventful, I was going to say less eventful GV2. Tried to red shell Bowser, but was a bit too close to him. Red shells take a little bit of, they need a little bit of space to lock on. Otherwise, yeah. Oh, that Nana as well. So what was a less eventful GV2's become slightly more eventful, and now there's going to be very little between the two players. Assuming Neetsel gets around the last corner at some point. And there we go. So another 3 seconds gain for Cap. So far so good for Cap, who needs to win this cup to stay in the match. On to Donut Plains 2. A track which actually plays a lot better in 100cc than it does in 150cc. In 150cc the corners just don't quite work, but in 100cc they work perfectly. And by work, I mean, if you try and take the corners at full speed, you end up just going too far out wide on the exits that you end up hitting the grass. Whereas on 100cc, you're just slow enough that you don't get thrown out quite so wide, that you can basically just drive around it and turn beautifully as you go. Of course, that is entirely dependent on you having played the game so much that you can actually do that. So we've got Cap still maintaining a probably 2 or 3 second lead over Neetsel here. Still very, very close. One little mistake difference between the two of them. The main obstacles on this track are the moles. Only half of the molehills have moles in them. So you come up to this stretch here, there's I think it's half. Yeah, I think it's half of the molehills on the track have a mole. And they're just RNG as to whether they jump up and get you or not. If you do get hooked by a mole, you can hammer the L and R buttons to get rid of them quickly. Sometimes though you'll get hit by a mole and you won't lose any speed. Other times you get hit by a mole and you come to an almost like standstill, and it's not something I really understand. I don't know what dictates whether the moles will barely slow you down or whether they'll slow you down completely. So Cap pulling out another couple of seconds. So Cap's probably going to be 5 or 6 seconds ahead, I think, at the moment, depending on whether he's been mashing during the menus. It is actually possible to lose time outside of the races, and you also have slightly quicker menu transition times if you finish in second, third, or fourth rather than first. I'll take a look at the difference between the timers. So yeah, about 4 to 5 seconds difference at the moment. Yeah, I think with the moles, the best thing is just to avoid them. Rather than spend time trying to figure out why sometimes they slow you down massively and why sometimes they don't. Just don't drive over them. It's probably the better use of time. So don't play Steel. Bowser Castle 2. I'm going to go there. This track is known as the Whale Shark of SMK. The whale shark being the biggest fish in the sea. This is the longest track in the game. Shout outs to Dan H. Oh, sorry, Dan _H. And Guillermo Rantes, I think, were the two who had that initial conversation. So, Bowser Castle 2. It's a really annoying track. Lots of tight, twisty turns. You've got the swamps, you've got the bumpers, you've got the lava. For people who don't know, those bumpers slow you down at every single bumper you hit. That's why when you watch the Division 1 matches, people don't hit the bumpers, they hop over them. But if you're at full speed and you hit the bumper, you can get launched straight into the lava. You're not really going to see that happen probably on 100cc. But in Division 1 on 150cc, that's always a chance. It looks like Cap's having a bet. Commentator's curse. Let's say Cap's having the better of the BC2s. Coming up to the last corner, just don't go under that thwomp. So Cap with a 205. Looks like he's going to pull another 3 or 4 seconds. Yeah. Another 4 seconds over Neetsel. So should be approaching something like a 9-second lead here. As we go into MC2. Sorry, MC3. I always forget that there's 2 Mario circuits in Mushroom Cup. It's the only cup with 2 circuits of the same type in it. Are there any strategic rationales for choosing Mario or Toad? Yeah, it's because these are newer players. So there are 4 different classes of player in this game. You have the heavyweights, which are DK and Bowser, who have the highest top speed but lowest acceleration. Then you've got the second tier, the bros, Mario and Luigi. Second best top speed. Slightly slower than DK and Bowser, but also have slightly better acceleration than DK and Bowser. And then the lower tiers, you've got Princess and Yoshi, who are slower still, but with better acceleration, but horrible turning. And then you have Koopa Trooper Toad, who are the slowest characters, have the second best acceleration, but the best turning. Although I use best turning in air quotes. They're probably the best turning for beginners, but once you're used to driving with DK and Bowser, Koopa and Toad just feel so horrible because they overturn, like, in a way. Oh, Neetsel's back ahead in this race. So we're on lap 4 of a cup. If Neetsel wins this track, he wins the race. He's Cap's hit out on the hairpin as well. So Neetsel 1 lap away from victory here with a mushroom. Uses it on the straight after missing the zipper. Cap also misses the zipper. No items for Cap. He's going to need something to go wrong for Neetsel in these last 6 or 7 seconds. Just avoid the banana. Land on the zipper. GG. Neetsel takes the match. 3 cups to 2. 3 cups to 0. Very close there on that last cup. Cap just leading through the first 4 tracks. The second here, 2 seconds there, but then 10 seconds slower on MC3. Enough to turn it around for Neetsel to take the win. just going to mark the players as done. Let me... Not sure if players are planning on coming for an interview or not. Neetsel will join. Fantastic. I will just... pass on the voice invite there. It looks like we've got Neetsel here. Just gonna drag him up into live. Hello, Neetsel. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Thank you.
3-0. First cup. Were you watching Cap stream as you play, or do you just play and see what the result is?
No, I just played on my side and didn't watch the stream, so I don't know how close it was or not. So it's yeah. I mean, watching the stream at the same time, I would have probably made even more mistakes than what I did.
Yeah, I don't do that myself. So Cap got off to a pretty bad start, ranking out on Donut Plains 3.
So, okay, so I actually already ranked out on that one as well. It's like
you both got the same time. It's just yours was good enough for 4th place. His was just the 5th place. You were like within, I think, a couple of tenths of each other in the actual time though on that track.
Yeah.
But I think you made your mistakes earlier. He made his mistakes later.
Yeah,
if you're going to make mistakes in this game, make them early.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about this game, is that in the last lap, if you do a mistake, it's usually over.
So Special Cup, you were basically a track ahead the whole cup, and it was a fairly straightforward win. Star Cup, that was also a fairly comfortable win for you. You just kind of were winning each cup by quite a bit each time. But Flower Cup, Cap was actually faster than you on each of the first 4 tracks. He was like 1 second quicker here, 2 seconds quicker there. So he went into MC3 with probably something like an 8-second lead.
That's pretty big. So,
but then ended up being about 10 seconds slower in the actual race there. So lost it by a couple of seconds in the end.
Well, that's surprising.
Yeah, so that's a nice turnaround, because I believe Cap beat you the first match you two played.
Yeah, it was 3-1. I only won the Special Cup on that match.
But
so
that win was quite big then, because that 3-0 win over Cap basically means that you're now going to be in the Division 2 final.
Awesome. More of this.
So the group stage is over, but wait, there's more.
Yeah.
You got a final versus Linane to play.
Yeah. I wonder how that will go.
Yeah, Linane has been. I think he's been practicing a lot more, shall we say?
Yeah. He's been flying over the division quite a lot. So
I think he started off with a high skill level to begin with. He'd been playing on stream quite a lot the last couple of months. And then as the tournament's gone on, he's also just continued to progress. So whereas you and Cap have been getting better, Linane's just kind of been holding that gap out. But depending on how much you want it, you could always practice hard for the next week and then shock the world.
I think it's going to be harder, because the problem is that I got myself into other blind tournaments, so I'm going to be pretty busy. I won't have time to practice that much, but yeah, I think I'll try as well to look back the replay and see what I can improve. It's like that's actually something with the tournament, is that watching back the replays and hearing your comments about what should be better, what could be the mistake that could be easily avoided, really helps. So.
Yeah, there wasn't too much that I would say that you should do differently.
I I
Again,
think the big thing is like right now when I'm practicing, I'm playing like time trial and I focus on like one race, and I get like alright at it after several tries. My big problem is chaining all of
yeah,
them and getting used. It's like it felt during the races here that during the final laps usually I did better. So then
I'm exactly the same. Like I never really played that much GP outside of these like little tournaments which go on. Like historically, most of my plays been in time trial, so I'm used to just playing the same track 100 times. And in trying to learn GP, I've kind of gone down the same mentality where I just play the same track over and over and over in GP.
Yeah.
And I get to the point where I can play it quite well, and then I'll do an All Cups run, and by the time I come back round to that track, I just crash for the first 2 laps and then have 3 good laps at the end.
Yeah.
It is a skill to be able to. I feel I've been trying to cheat the tournament by, like, you know, the kid who crams for a test the night before kind of approach.
Yeah.
Whereas the people who've, you know, been playing it continually for like a long period of time, yeah, it's very difficult to play against somebody who's just better prepared than you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
in saying that,
definitely.
I wish you all the best of luck against Linane.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I got a cup like the first time I was up against him, so maybe you never know. So maybe with some incredible RNG and some bad luck on this side, maybe I'll be able to win. We'll see.
Yeah, so just say congratulations to Neetsel. Good luck going forward in your final. Commiserations to Cap. That's the end of the tournament for him. He can take Grumpy Frowny Toad off his stream and have some fun doing whatever he wants to do now for a while. And I'm sure your Kart mum Jamu will be watching that final with pride at her Kart babies.
I hope she doesn't yell at us again.
I hear there was an interesting interview after the last match. I didn't watch it. That was Cap Linane. I don't know if you saw that match.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it earlier. I didn't see like the last part of the cup, but I saw most of it. So
apparently they had Jamu on for an interview with them at the end as well to tell them off.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I'll have to go back and watch that again. But again, congratulations and thank you to everybody in Twitch chat for joining in. Next scheduled matchup, I believe, is going to be myself and Onward Games. We're playing on Saturday morning. I think it's 8 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. EU, and late at night in Japan for Onward. But other than that, good night.
Good night.